I never thought I'd wake up in my sister's body, staring at my own reflection in the bathroom mirror of our childhood home. Her perfect nose now mine to wrinkle in disgust. But there I was, heart pounding like a jackhammer, realizing the $60,000 I'd slaved for, every double shift at the coffee shop, every freelance graphic design gig after midnight, was gone, funneled into her dream wedding while I footed the bill for her accidental, hit-and-run cover-up 5 years ago. And as I flexed fingers that weren't mine, a dark whisper in my stolen skull promised they'd pay. Every last one of them, starting with the lies they'd buried deeper than Grandma's ashes. It started with the betrayal that gutted me worse than any knife, my own blood, siphoning my future for her fairy tale. All because I'd taken the fall for her crime, rotting in juvie at 16 while she skipped off to college on a full ride.
Now,
in this twisted swap courtesy of that shady experimental clinic Dad's pharma connections hooked up, I had the power to unravel it all, no matter how many lines I crossed. The rain hammered Seattle like it had a personal grudge that night I found out, 3 weeks before my wedding to Mark. I'd scrimped and saved for 2 years, turning minimum wage hell into a nest egg that could have bought us a starter home in the suburbs.
not just the ceremony.
60 grand. Wired into a joint account with my fiancé's name on it for security.
Security my ass.
I logged in after a 12-hour shift, feet throbbing in my knockoff Nikes, expecting to transfer a chunk for the venue deposit. Zero balance. A fat red declined from the honeymoon suite booking email. My stomach dropped faster than the Space Needle elevator. I called Mom first, voice steady as I could manage over the espresso machine hum at closing time. "Hey, sweetie," she cooed, like butter on Wonder Bread. "What's up?"
I told her about the account.
Silence. Then a sigh that carried the weight of all her passive-aggressive sighs from my teenage rebellion days.
Oh, June.
It's for the family. Your sister's in a bind. You know how she is, impulsive, but she means well. Impulsive. That's what they called it when Lily plowed her BMW into that homeless vet on I-5. High on Adderall she'd swiped from Dad's samples. I was the one who confessed. Said it was me behind the wheel, borrowing her car without permission. 16. Scared shitless, but loyal to the bone. Juvie for 2 years. Probation after. While Lily got therapy and a slap on the wrist. Family sticks together, Dad had said, his lawyer eyes cold as the Puget Sound. And now, they were dipping into my wedding fund to bankroll her nuptials to that tech bro.
Chad.
Because her trust fund ran dry on European jaunts. I drove home in a daze, wipers slapping rhythmically against the downpour, the Space Needle's lights blurring into neon tears. Our family McMansion loomed like a bad memory for bedrooms, granite counters, the kind of place that screamed Keeping Up with the Joneses in Bellevue. Mom and Dad were in the kitchen, sipping Cabernet, Lily flitting about in yoga pants that cost more than my rent. "Junebug," she trilled, hugging me with perfume that smelled like money. We were just talking about the flowers for my big day. Peonies, right?
So you.
I peeled her off, throat tight. The money.
Lil.
My money. Dad set his glass down, that boardroom stare locking on. It's a loan.
June.
You'll get it back. Lily's ceremony is next month. Can't postpone. Think of the optics for the firm. Optics. Always optics. Mom chimed in. You're so practical. Honey. You'll understand when you're a mom. As if I hadn't already played the sacrificial lamb. That night, I lay in bed, Mark's texts buzzing unanswered, Babe. Venue issue? We got this. We didn't. The next morning, nursing black coffee. I overheard them in the study. Dad on the phone. Yeah. The swap trial's promising. That neural sync tech from the clinic could rewrite memories, identities. Perfect for high-stakes clients. Pharma exec perks. Lily giggling. Imagine if I could just be someone else for a day. Skip the hangover guilt. The seed planted. I'd always known Dad's world was shady. Off-books trials. NDAs thicker than the Bible. But this? Body swapping via some black market Neuralink? It was the stuff of sci-fi B-movies. Not Bellevue brunch talk. Desperation made me bold. I rifled through Dad's desk that afternoon while he golfed, finding the clinic card, Evergreen Neural Institute, tucked behind a stack of SEC filings. A quick Google. Whispers of experimental identity transference for trauma patients, but rumors of corporate espionage testing. One review. Anonymous. They swapped my regrets. But you lose pieces of yourself. I called that evening. Voice disguised as a potential patient. The rep, smooth as silk, outlined it. Temporary neural overlay. Swap consciousness for 72 hours. Reversible with the right codes. Cost? 50 grand. Off books. Ironic. For closure, I lied. Family's secrets eating me alive. They bit. Session booked for Friday. Under a fake name. Mark thought I was at a spa retreat when I slipped out. Heart slamming. I drove to the clinic, an unassuming office park off 405. Fluorescent hum and the tang of antiseptic greeting me like an old enemy. The doc.
Dr.
Harlan. Looked like a Bond villain light. Wire rims. Lab coat over a polo. Neural sync, he explained, strapping me to a gurney that hummed to life. We'll link you to a proxy your choice. Overlay your mind on theirs. Body included. Test run. 3 days. Wake up as them. I named Lily. She'd be at the bachelorette that night. Easy mark. Harlan raised a brow. Familial?
Risky.
Emotional bleed. I nodded. For dripping cold fire into my vein. Lights out. Waking was violation incarnate. Soft sheets. Silk against skin that felt foreign. Live limbs. Manicured nails. The faint ache of last night's cosmos. I bolted upright, stumbling to the hotel bathroom mirror. Lily's face stared back. Wide blue eyes. Honey waves tumbling over shoulders that had never known a factory shift's grind. My hands, her hands, trembled as I touched the reflection. Holy shit, I whispered, her voice lilting out. All Valley Girl vowels. Panic surged, but so did power. This was my shot. First, reconnaissance. Lily's phone buzzed with Chad's texts. Miss you.
Babe.
That toast last night?
Epic.
I scrolled, stomach churning at the photos, her in a white dress mock-up. Peonies everywhere. Venue dripping in crystal. My venue. My money. Deeper dig. Emails from mom. Forwarding bank statements. The transfer, $60K. Coded as sisterly gift. Dad's note. Handle the audit trail.
Love.
June won't notice till after. Notice? I'd noticed.
All right. And now?
In her skin. I could make them notice me. I slipped into her walk-in closet, the one Dad built after my juvie stint, to apologize. Designer labels mocked me. Gucci. Chanel. Tags still dangling. I chose jeans that hugged like a second skin, a blouse that screamed trust fund casual, and heels that clicked with authority. Breakfast at the hotel cafe. Eavesdropping on brunching influencers. Their laughter a soundtrack to my simmering rage. By noon, I was at the family home, key under the mat like always. Mom was in the garden, pruning roses, humming show tunes. Lily, back early. I forced her smile. Surprise.
Mom.
Chad had a meeting, thought I'd pop in. Hug accepted. Her Chanel no. 5 enveloping me like a noose. We chatted banalities, weather, wedding colors, while I scanned for Dad's laptop. Upstairs, in my old room, now a gym, I jimmied the lock on his briefcase. Files spilled, clinic contracts, neurologs. And there, buried in a subfolder labeled Contingencies, the hit-and-run report. My confession. Forged signature. Lily's DNA scrubbed from the scene. But deeper, a video timestamped 2:17 a.m. Dashcam footage of her swerving, laughing. The thud. Evidence they'd buried. Paid off the right cop. Rage boiled. Hot and black. I pocketed the drive. Heart thundering. Downstairs. Dad pulled in. Jaguar purring. Lillipad, what's cooking? His bear hug squeezed too tight. Lunch was a minefield, steak salads. Small talk about my graphic design side hustle versus Lily's career in social media influencing. I played the part, giggling at his jokes. But inside, June screamed. After.
Feigningen up.
I hacked the home Wi-Fi from Lily's phone. Password still family first 99, the irony. Bank apps open. Transfers reversed. $60,000 rerouted to an offshore account I'd set up under Mark's LLC.
Poof.
Their safety net. My lifeline. But revenge wasn't just financial. It was personal. Visceral. That evening, at the family dinner, Chad included, all bro-douche charm, I spiked the wine with Lily's leftover Adderall. Crushed fine. Just enough for paranoia. Not overdose. Dad monologued about mergers. Oblivious. To family, he toasted. Glasses clinked. By dessert. Mom fidgeted. Eyes darting.
Something's off.
Chad laughed it off. But Lily's body buzzed with my adrenaline. Steady as steel. Night fell. Storm brewing again. I slipped out, driving Lily's Beamer, the same one that killed that man, to the clinic for check-in. Harlan scanned me, frowning. Sync stable, but emotional spikes high. Reversal tomorrow. I smiled. All teeth. Not yet. Back home. I waited till midnight, when Dad's snores rattled the master suite. In his study, I cued the video on the big screen, volume cranked. The thud echoed, her laughter tinny and cruel. I hit send to the firm's board, the DA's tip line, anonymous from a burner app. Truth serum, I murmured. Dawn broke gray and accusatory. Sirens wailed distant, then close. Cops at the door. Badges flashing. Mom's scream pierced the air as they cuffed Dad, reading rights like a bad cop show. Embezzlement? What? Then the video played on loop from his own projector, triggered by my remote hack. Lily me stumbled down, feigning shock.
Daddy?
What's happening?
Chet bailed fast.
Tires squealing. The betrayal cracked wide. Mom confessed in hysterics. The fun theft. The cover-up. We had to protect her. June took the blame. It's only fair.
Fair.
The word hung like smoke. As they hauled Dad away, I felt the sink flicker. 48 hours left. But the real twist? In Lily's mind, buried under my overlay, a whisper. June? Is that you? She'd known. Somehow. From the start. Fought it.
And now,
As her body weakened from the strain, mine, back at the clinic in stasis, stirred with her regrets bleeding through. The hit and run? She'd done it fleeing Dad's abuse. His lessons in the garage turning violent. I'd taken the fall not just for loyalty, but because she was pregnant, miscarried in the crash. Hushed up. My crime? Knowing and staying silent. The reversal hit like a freight train. Clinic alarms blared as I snapped back into my own skin, Lily convulsing in the adjacent pod. Harlan swore. Complications. Permanent bleed. She woke screaming my name. Eyes mine but haunted. Cops waited outside. The video had gone viral. Pharma scandal trending. Dad's firm crumbled. Mom checked into rehab for the pills she'd popped to cope. Lily, facing manslaughter charges. Her influencer empire dust. Mark waited at home. Fund restored. But his eyes questioned. Where were you? Really? I stood at the courthouse steps months later. Rain slicking the pavement. Watching Lily plead out. House arrest. Therapy. Restitution to the victim's family. She caught my gaze, mouthing sorry through tears. Part of me softened. The sister I'd lost, warped by our father's shadow. But the darker June, the one who'd crossed into the abyss, whispered, not enough. I'd visit her.
sure.
Plant seeds of doubt. Remind her of the garage nights. Let the guilt swap places.
Permanent.
Was it justice or monstrosity? Mark calls it closure. My therapist, vigilantism. Online, they debate, hero or villain.
Me?
I walk the line. Wedding band, heavy on my finger. $60,000 rebuilt brick by brick. Family's a thief in the night. But revenge? It's the dawn that burns it all down. And damn if it doesn't feel like freedom. The bleed didn't stop with the reversal. Flashes hit me at odd hours, Lily's memories overlaying mine like glitchy film reels. Waking in sweats. Tasting the copper tang of that fender bender. Hearing Dad's belt whistle before the crash. Mark noticed. Of course. You're distant?
June. Like your.
Elsewhere. We'd postponed the wedding, venue double-booked anyway. Thanks to the chaos, and holed up in our Capitol Hill apartment. The kind with exposed brick and overpriced pour-over coffee downstairs. Seattle's fog mirrored my mood. Thick and unrelenting. As I pieced together the aftermath. Dad's trial was a circus. Front-page fodder for The Stranger. Bellevue pharma kingpin exposed. Daughter's deadly secret unearthed. He lawyered up with the best. But the video was damning. The fund theft a cherry on the felony sundae. Embezzlement. Obstruction. Wire fraud. Sentenced to 15. White-collar wing at McNeil Island. Mom sold the McMansion to cover legal fees. Crashing with a cousin in Tacoma. Her rosary beads clicking like accusatory castanets. Lily got the sweetheart deal. Manslaughter reduced to vehicular homicide. 5 years probation. 500 hours community service at a homeless shelter. Poetic. That last one. The victim. Old Mr. Harlan, no relation to the doc. Had frozen to death under an overpass 2 winters back. His story buried until I unearthed it. But the swap's ghost lingered. I'd catch myself in mirrors, expecting her cheekbones, her effortless poise. And the power? It corrupted quiet like a slow drip. I started small, anonymous tips to Chad's startup board about his side hustles, intern flings, expense padding. His series of funding evaporated overnight. Last seen Ubering for DoorDash in a beanie that screamed midlife crisis at 28. Satisfaction? Cold beer on a rainy porch. Yeah. But it whetted the appetite. The clinic called a week post-reversal. Harlan. Voice clipped. MS. Harper. We need to discuss the logs. Anomalies in the sync. Reciprocal transfer. Your sister's neural map imprinted on yours. Reversible. But he trailed off, implying costs, risks. I hung up, pulse racing. Reversible or exploitable? Evergreen Neural wasn't just some feel-good therapy hub. Dad's files hinted at military contracts. Identity ops for black bag jobs. If they could swap regrets. What else? I drove back that night, rain sheeting the windshield, posing as a follow-up patient. Harlan's office, diplomas from Johns Hopkins, a decanter of scotch winking under desk lamp. Closure achieved, he asked, steepling fingers. I leaned in, channeling Lily's flirt. More like complication. Show me the full protocol. He hesitated, then cued the holodisplay, 3D brain scans swirling. Mine and hers tangled like kudzu. The bleed's mutual. She's experiencing your memories too, the juvie cell, the double shifts. Dissociation risk high. Leverage. I pressed. Undo it.
Now.
Harlan chuckled. Dry as gin. Not without board approval. And your father's connections? Complicated.
Dad.
Even caged. His shadow loomed. That's when the real plan crystallized. Not just payback, but purge. I needed deeper access. The kind Lily's social circle greased. Posing as her on Insta, hacked passcode. Chad's birthday. Pathetic. I DM'd her old sorority sisters, angling for the next girls' night. They bit. Wine bar in Fremont. Themed Phoenix Rising. Ironic as hell. I showed. In her Lululemon steals. Hair blown out to match her feed.
Lil.
Spill on the drama. Cooed Brit. Tipsy on Rose. I spun a tale. Dad's fall. My innocence. The fun fiasco as family misunderstanding. Gasps. Hugs. Then the gold. Invites to the clinic's gala. Black tie fundraiser for neural innovation. The gala was power central. Suits from Boeing. Tech bros from Amazon. Senators nursing whiskeys. I glided through. Lily's charm a shield. Collecting cards. Whispers. Harlan cornered me by the ice sculpture. Enjoying the view? I smiled, slipping a bug into his pocket mic, tiny. Bought off a dark web contact from my freelance days. Just networking. Document. That night. Back home. I synced the feed to my laptop. Eavesdropping gold. Board calls. Dad's payoffs to quash investigations. Even a side gig swapping exec identities for corporate espionage. But the controversial calls started mounting. Mark proposed we adopt fertility issues from stress,
He said gently.
I froze. Lily's miscarriage memory flashing. Blood on tiles. Des accidents. Not yet, I murmured. But inside, the swap June plotted. What if I use the tech to borrow a surrogate consciousness? Pain-free pregnancy?
Twisted.
Yeah. But in America's fertility rat race, IVF bills topping my wedding fund, desperation blurred lines. I tabled it, focused on Dad. Visitation day at McNeil, chain-link fences, salt air whipping off the sound. He looked smaller and orange, jowls sagging. Junebug. Come to gloat. I sat, glass partitioning us like bad divorce mediation. To understand, Dad. The garage. Lily told me, through the sink. His eyes flickered, then steel.
Lies.
She was wild. Needed discipline. You took the fall 'cause you're the strong one.
Strong.
Or expendable. I leaned close. The video's not the only copy. Clinic logs.
2.
Your trials, swapping soldiers' PTSD, senators' alibis. Bluff, half true. But it landed. What do you want? Freedom?
No. Truth. Confess.
All of it. Or the next leaks to 60 minutes. He cracked. Slow like old plaster. The hit and run? Cover for his affair with the DA's wife. Lily collateral. The fund? Laundering kickbacks from Harlan's funders. My juvie? To toughen me for the business, his pharma empire's dirty underbelly. Tears?
Not. Just bile rising.
You're my legacy.
June.
Ruthless. I walked out, filing the affidavit that night, anonymous, but airtight. His sentence doubled. Appeals denied. Lily called then. Voice small. Sis? The memories. Juvie smells like bleach and regret.
I'm sorry.
For everything. We met at the shelter. Her in neon vest. Scrubbing graffiti. Her eyes, my eyes in the mirror, pleaded. The swap. It showed me you. The real you. Forgiveness tempted. A hallmark not untangling. But the dark whisper, she drove. You bled. I hugged her, whispering, prove it. Testify against him. Controversial? Hell yes. Pitting sister against father. Unraveling the core. She nodded, tears salting the concrete. The climax brewed at the clinic's Innovation Summit, keynote by Harlan. Funders in tuxes. I crashed as Lily's +1 Brit state flaked. Bug live streaming to a VPN server. Midway through his TED-style spiel on identity liberation, I triggered the hack. Screens flickered. My compiled dossier beaming. Dad's confessions. Swap logs. Victim testimonies. Chaos erupted. Champagne flutes shattering like illusions. Harlan bolted for the exit. I blocked him. Phone recording. Game over.
Doc.
Reversal codes.
Now. He complied.
Trembling, as security swarmed. The bleed reversed that night, clean slate. Or so Harlan swore before the feds cuffed him. But the real high? Walking out. Lily's final memory fading, her hand on the wheel. Mine in irons. Justice? Or June's Frankenstein monster? The summit fallout rippled like a stone in the Duwamish. Clinic shuddered. Investigations spiderwebbing to D.C. Harlan sang like a canary, implicating Dad's entire network, neural swaps for lobbyists dodging ethics probes, CEOs erasing embezzlement shame. The press ate it up. Mind heist, Seattle's secret soul trade. I watched from our new condo in Queen Anne. Mark's promotion at Microsoft funding the view of the sound. Glittering like fool's gold. 60 grand? Multiplied tenfold in a class action suit. My name redacted, but payout direct deposited. Wedding? Fall next year. Small. Vows on a ferry. Peonies be damned. But closure's a myth. Especially when your brain's been guest hosted. Nightmares blended ours. Juvie bars morphing to wedding veils stained red. Dad's belt cracking like thunder over I-5. Therapy helped, EMDR sessions. Mark's hand steady in mine, but the controversial edge lingered. Online forums dissected me. June's a badass vigilante versus she body snatched her sis. Ethical nightmare. Podcasts debated. Revenge porn for the soul, or necessary evil in a system that shields the rich. I lurked. Anonymous handle swap sis, stirring the pot with facts that blurred truth. Lily rebuilt quiet like. Probation meant no socials. So she blogged under pseudonyms, raw posts on privilege. Guilt. The crash's ghost. Her words echoed my bleed. I drove the car, but family steered the wheel. We met weekly. Coffee at a Fremont dive. No lattes. Just drip and honesty. The miscarriage, she confessed once. Voice cracking. Dad said it'd ruin us, his image. The firm. So we lied. You were. Kinder than me.
Kinda.
Or conditioned. I forgave in pieces. But trust? Fractured as the McMansions sold sign. The final twist hit like swap sickness renewed. A letter from Dad. Pre-appeal denial. Yellowed envelope. Prison stamp. Junebug, you think you won? The sync was an accident. I arranged it. Through Harlan. Test your limits. Forge you in fire. Lily was weak. You're the heir. Use it. The real codes? Buried in your bleed. Unlock. And the empire's yours, clean. Remade. Bullshit? Or bait? I burned it. But doubt festered. That night. Alone Mark at a conference. I dreamed the garage. Dad not whipping, but handing tools, scalpel.
Code.
Woke sweating. Laptop open to clinic archives I'd liberated. There, a subroutine, neural backdoor. Activating it? Permanent access, swap at will. Identities fluid. Power to rewrite not just revenge, but reality. For the victim's family, restitution plus closure. Me as proxy witness. Bleeding their grief. For Lily, a clean slate. Her memories mine to edit. For me, CEO of a reformed neural firm. Pharma sins atoned through trauma tech for the underserved. Or monster. Playing God in Bellevue basements. The decision? Pure controversy. I met Lily at the shelter. Her vest mud-streaked from mural painting. Irises for Mr. Harlan. Blues like the sound. Sis. Dad's letter. He knew. Her face paled. Knew what? I showed the code. Screen glowing. We could end it. Swap back the regrets. Permanent. She recoiled.
No.
That's his game, control. I want the pain. Earn forgiveness. Wise beyond her filtered years.
Me? Tempted.
But her words anchored. We deleted it together. Firewall engaged. Watching the progress bar like a funeral pyre. Months blurred. Wedding day dawned crisp. Ferry rocking gentle on the water. Mark's vows steady. In every body. Every mind. It's you. Guests sparse, his folks. My therapist. Lily as maid of honor. Her smile genuine.
Scarred.
Reception at a Pike Place brewery. IPAs flowing. Toasts laced with inside jokes about sister swaps. Laughter healed.
Tentative.
But the debatable end? Open. Dad dies in custody. Heart attack. Official. Poison whispers. Online. Mom relapses. Vanishes to Sedona retreats. Lily thrives. Advocacy voice for hit-run survivors. Her book deal pending.
Me?
I launch a nonprofit, Neural Ethics Watchdog, funded by the suit. Mark and I talk kids. Adoption papers in process. Happy? Surface yes. Sundays hiking Discovery Park. Hands linked. Tragic undercurrent? The bleed scar. A reminder. Revenge remakes you, but doesn't unbreak the wheel. Readers argue in comments. Was June's swap justice or hubris? Did she save family or shatter it? I scroll, smirking. Speechless? Nah, they're yelling. And in the quiet, when rain taps the window like old regrets, I wonder if I could swap one thing. It'd be that loyal 16-year-old me. Tell her to run, not confess.
But then?
No Lily to save. No fun to steal. No me to rise from ashes. Twisted grace. American as apple pie a la mode, sweet. Messy.
Gone too soon.
In the end, they stole more than money, they stole innocence. What happened next? I stole it back. Body and soul. And if that's villainy, sign me up. The view from the throne's a hell of a sight.